Hello everyone. This is the second video for this week and we are studying chapter 14 light. We'll be continuing the same chapter in this video also. So we have already seen reflection. So let us just revise what we have seen in the previous video a little bit. Reflection. It is the process of the bouncing back of the light ray when it strikes a plain shiny surface. When light will be incident on a certain surface, it either gets reflected or bounces back. Such surfaces are really well polished and act like a mirror. And this phenomenon of light bouncing off surfaces is only called reflection. A mirror that has a plain surface is called a plane mirror, whereas some other mirrors will also be there which will have curved surfaces. Such mirrors are known as curved mirrors. Now what is an image? As a mirror reflects light, an image of the object that is in front of the mirror is formed on it. The image of an object can be defined as the impression of the object created by the light on the mirror. The distance between the image and the mirror and the object and the mirror always remains the same. If we increase or decrease the distance between the object and the mirror, the distance between the image and the mirror also increases or decreases respectively. Now before going further, we should know some terms that are related to the reflection of light. First of all, we have incident ray. So incident ray is the ray of light that falls on the reflecting surface. So if this is the reflecting surface, so the ray of light that will be falling on the surface will be incident ray, and the arrow that will be used to indicate this ray will be facing towards the reflecting surface. Next we have reflected ray. The ray of light that is sent back by the reflecting surface is known as reflected ray. So this ray that is moving away from the reflecting surface is the reflected ray, and the arrow indicating such rays will be facing away from the mirror. Next we have normal. The normal is a line at right angle to the reflecting surface to the point of incidence. Now what is this point of incidence? The point on the reflecting surface at which the incident ray is falling is the point of incidence. So this is the point of incidence, this point. And if we draw a line from this point of incidence that will be at right angle to the reflecting surface will only be known as the normal. So this line is the normal. Next we have angle of incidence. It is the angle made by the incident ray and the normal. So this angle is the angle of incidence. That is the angle that is made by the incident ray, and the normal is the angle of incidence. Now next we have angle of reflection. It is the angle made by the reflected ray and the normal. Next, object. It is the thing that performs an image or forms an image on the screen. Next, image. It is the reflection of the object on the screen. Then there will be two types of images, virtual and real image. The image that cannot be obtained on a screen will be virtual, whereas the image that is formed directly on the screen is real image. Now here you can see this diagram. Here in this diagram, first of all, this ray is falling on the reflecting surface. So this is the incident ray. This is the point of incidence. This is the reflected ray. The angle between the incident ray and the normal is angle of incidence, and the angle between the reflected ray and the normal is the angle of reflection. Angle of incidence is also denoted by angle I, and angle of reflection is also denoted by sign of angle and small r. So this is how we are going to denote some of the terms that are related to the reflection process. Here again we have the same thing, that is, this is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray, this is the point of incidence, this is the normal, this is the angle of incidence, and this is the angle of reflection. These two are the angles. Now we will be dealing with the laws of reflection. So there are two laws of reflection. First one, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal all lie in the same plane. And second law of reflection is that the angle of incident is equal to the angle of reflection. So let us refer to this diagram once again to understand this. So first of all, so here you can see this is the incident ray, this is the normal, and this is the reflected ray. You can see that all of these are lying at the same plane. First of all, they are lying on the same plane at the same point. So this is what the first law of reflection states, that the incident ray, reflected ray and the normal will all lie on the same plane at the same point. So this is the first law of reflection. Second law of reflection states that the angle of incidence will be equal to the angle of reflection. So that is, the angle between the incident ray and the normal will always be equal to the angle between the normal and the reflected ray. So these are the two laws of reflection which will be followed by whenever or wherever reflection will be taking place. Even if it is taking on plane mirror or if it is taking on a curved mirror, these two laws of reflection will always be followed. Now let us see how images are formed on plane mirrors. So first of all, a multitude of light rays from the object will be incident towards the mirror. So many light rays from the object will be falling on the mirror. Then what will happen? A multitude of light rays from the object will be incident towards the mirror. They will fall on the mirror, they will be incident towards the mirror. The light will reflect off the mirror according to the law of reflection. Now these rays that are falling on the mirror will also be reflected, because mirror is a plain, shiny, smooth surface. So the light rays that are falling from the object on the mirror will then be reflected back. The image is the location where all the reflected light rays intersect each other. Now in this case, in the case of plane mirror, these reflected rays will be intersecting each other somewhere behind the mirror. Okay, that is, when we'll produce these reflected rays behind the mirror, they will be meeting each other or they will be intersecting each other. So the image will be formed behind the mirror. Location of the image will be behind the mirror. Let us understand this. So this is the point object, you can see small object. Many light rays are coming and falling on the mirror. Once the light rays have fallen, they are being reflected. So for the formation of image, as I have told you, the reflected rays should meet. So here the reflected rays are meeting here behind the mirror. So the location of the image will be behind the mirror in the case of plane mirror. So this is how image is formed by a plane mirror. Now what are the properties of the images formed by a plane mirror? So as the image is formed behind the mirror, and that too without the actual intersection of the reflected rays, so the image formed is virtual. It is also as far behind the mirror as the object is in the front. It is also of the same size as the object, and it will always be erect but laterally inverted. What is lateral inversion? You must have observed that when you raise your right hand in a mirror, it appears that the left hand is being raised. This left-right reversal of the image is only known as lateral inversion. We will also see the other properties again in the next video, students. This is all for this video. Thank you so much, everyone.